people who have been given the subject and they don't actually want it. So there is nobody. Okay, so don't say that later now. So nobody has forced this particular subject on you. You have come on your own accord, and it is now up to me for you to start enjoying and continue enjoying the programming thing. Okay. All right. Let me talk about let me talk about marks. Let me see some people here. Let me see some people. Okay, I'm going to take some names. Could you just switch on your camera and just show me your faces so that I can recognize you at least. Um, First of all, the people who are 100%ers in class 9, and they are Agastya Garg and Agam Ghotra. Can you switch on your camera, please? Agastya Garg and Agam Ghotra. Are we here? Okay, Agastya, thank you. And Agam, please switch on your camera. Thank you, Agastya. Thank you, beta. And Agam, okay, Agam. All right, all right, all right. Okay, fine. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You can switch off your camera. Both of you have received 100% marks, and I believe whatever was given to you, you have been able to understand everything, and you have been able to cater to all the logics and restrictions and syntaxes and everything because you have scored 100%. Now we come to the second category, that is Shivansh Sharma, who scored 98%. Shivansh, please switch on your camera. Okay, Shivansh, 98%. ठीक है. Oh, let you be on the screen now. I'll just take a print screen. I'll save this somewhere. Shivansh, your camera, please. Okay, just a second. Yeah. Now you can switch it off. Thank you so much. 98%. Anybody scoring say 70-80% or above is good for me. That is not a problem. You are good. That is why you scored 70%. You just need to work a little harder. Yes, there are people who have scored less than 40%. Yes, they need to work quite hard. Yes, but there is nothing you cannot achieve. Everybody can achieve that 100%. Okay, it was you know that computers is a very scoring subject. It was 3 years ago that we had 1100%ers in class 10. Now you can imagine mathematics mathematics students don't score so many hundreds as this subject. Okay, now the next category is 97%ers, who are Gurasi Singh and Shaunak Guchat. Gurasis and Shaunak. Okay. Shaunak Guchat. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Shaunak?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay. All right, all right. Gurasis, Shaunak, Gurasis, I have taught, I think he was in 5th or 6th standard when we were doing the app development stuff during activity class or some extra class. Yes, I remember now. Okay, Shaunak and Guchat, let me take the print screen. Fine. Thank you, both of you. You have done very well. Okay, let me go to, thank you, beta. Next is Lakshay. Lakshay, you scored 96%. That is a good score. Okay, I've taken your print screen also. Thank you so much, Lakshay. Next are Anusha and Kanan. Anusha and Kanan. Okay, fine. You have scored 95%, I believe. Am I
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Okay. Okay, good, 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 good. Okay, fine. 95%. Anyway, I told you. Thank you so much, betas. Thank you so much. Next, we have Ishan Agarwal. Ishan Agarwal. Okay. Ishan, you scored 94%. All right. Let me ask the others also from 90 to 94. Abhinav Messi, Vansh Dubedi, Vatsal Gupta, and Yajash Lakhanpal. Can you all switch on your cameras, including Ishan Agarwal? Abhinav, your camera is not working? All right, all right. Vatsal. Okay, okay. All right. So, thank you guys. Thank you so much for switching on your cameras. You have all done very well. In fact, everybody did very well, except for a few who I'm sure are also going to do well after I finish with them. Okay. Just put yourself in my hands, and you should be okay. All right. You should be okay. Now let me show myself now. I hope you can see me.
No, sir, it's a black screen.
It's a black screen.
No,
So
sir.
just a second, just a second. Oh, there is something on the camera. I have to clean that properly. All right. Okay. I'm visible now, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Okay. Now let's start off. First things first. We will be starting. Our class is from 11 to 11:35. I propose that we increase our class a little bit if everybody is okay with it. All right. Now we can possibly start at around 10:45. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because
Yes,
I
sir.
believe, yeah, okay. Because I believe 30 minutes is a very less time for, in fact, for our interaction. Okay, there are some times that we need more time than that. So 15 minutes extra are going to be give us a little leeway there. Okay, so tomorrow's class, I will schedule it from 11 to 11:35 as usual, but you will join in at 10:45. Okay. Any problems? If anybody has any problem, just raise your hand. So there is no problem. So we'll start at 10:45 tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Now, I propose that we start off with uh, some revisions. Okay. Let me get the syllabus for class 9 and we can start working with it. Okay, let me share my screen and you can see what we are supposed to do and what we are going to do. You can see the screen now. And can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so what we are going to do is revise a little bit. Maybe today and tomorrow we are going to do these things. Let me just make it proper a little bit and then we can start off. Okay, all of you know about me, guys. All of you know about me? Yes. My name is Rajinder Singh Kaura and I have been in this school since 1998. So that was around 23 years ago now. Before this, I had been working in computer centers like Aptech and NIT. Between 98 and now, I have worked abroad for around 5 years. So I joined back in 2012, 2013, 8 years ago. I have been teaching abroad to corporates, that is basically software development and their office work. So that means their Excel, basically data management. Data management. Okay. All right. I have been developing softwares since 1990. Okay, so that means around more than 31 years I've been developing softwares. Even the software which actually creates your report cards and does all the management of the school has been developed by me. Basically, it is done in PHP. All right. So I don't only teach you guys, I also develop software which is in actual production. All right, let us start off. Last year you did Introduction to Object-Oriented Programming. Okay, so object-oriented programming concepts. Object-oriented programming concepts. Okay, let's talk about object orientation a little later. Let me start off with the very basic things like the values and data types. How many primitive data types are there in Java? How many primitive data types? Just raise your hands. I'll ask you a question and you can tell me how many primitive data types are there in Java. Guys? Gurasis only? Abhinav? Okay. Yes, Gurasis, tell me how many?
Sir, four main categories: integers, floating points, characters, and boolean.
Okay, I asked about the data types, not the categories. So let's not worry about categories. So just give me the how many.
Sir, byte short, int long for integer, float double for floating point, then cat, then boolean.
Then char, then billion. So there are 8. Okay. Did everybody not know this? I just had 2 raising of hands. So everybody knew this now. How many primitive data types, which is a very, very important thing in Java? Yes or no? How many knew it? Just raise your hands now. So, and don't be lazy in this. When I say raise of hands, it means fatafat raise of hands. Okay, 18, 19, 20 people at least knew it. Thank you guys. You can put your hands down now. So raise of hands means please be active. Okay, so when I am teaching you, just be responsive. Okay, your response means a lot to me. If I ask you a very simple question and only 2 people are raising their hands, what does it mean to me? Either you people are not actually actively participating in the class or you don't know. It is not possible that you don't know. You know it, but still you may not want to participate. Okay, Amit Garg, you can put your hands down now. Okay. Now, so there are 8 data types, and we start off with byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean. As Gurasis had enumerated them, please name them like this. So don't when somebody asks you, give them in this order only. Okay. No, the first four, that is byte short, int long, as you know, and as described by Gurasis, they are all integer types. That means you cannot store fractions in them. Float and double are numeric types again, but we can store fractions in them. Okay. Char, we can store single characters, and boolean, we can store only true or false. Are we okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, what are these data types? Can somebody tell me? Don't give me a bookish answer. Give me an answer that you have understood it. Okay. For example, what is a data type? What is byte? What is short? What does it mean? If I ask you, what does short mean to you? Or what does int mean to you? We'll take this one. What does int mean to you? Raise of hands, please. Okay, the first hand was Agastya. Agastya, please tell me. What does
Sir, it
what
is
does
a predefined class that is used to initialize variables.
Okay, it is a predefined class. Okay, by the way, it is not a predefined class, it is a predefined data type. Okay, it's not a class. All right, so we have gone beyond class 9 now. So um, we are grown-ups now. Okay, Kritin, camera off, please. Okay, now please remember when okay, iska clear kar hi dein. When you talk about a class, how do you name a class? What is the name? What are the naming conventions of a class? Now, please remember there is a naming rule and there is a naming convention. So I'm asking you about a convention of a class. Convention of a class. Gurasis?
Sir, the class name should be starting with a capital letter. That's a convention.
That is the convention. So are any of these starting with a capital letter?
No, sir.
No. If I have something like this, which we will be doing in class 10 now, what will be the difference when I say this boolean or this boolean? What is the difference? The second boolean that I'm pointing to right now is actually a class. And the first one is actually a primitive data type. Okay, does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is not a class. It is these are basically data types. Okay, this is a data type which is predefined as explained, and we can store an integer value only. So long with to wahi hai. We can store an integer value. So what is the difference between int and long then? Anybody? Yes, Kanan. Kanan.
Sir, long can store longer integer values than int.
Okay. Long can store a longer integer value. That means the data size becomes larger and larger and larger, isn't it? That is what you're saying. Okay, so that means when you're saying when we have int and long, so what is the difference between int and long? Int can also store integer, but a less. Uh, just a second. Give me a few seconds. I'll take that later. Okay, guys, so each one of them has a particular size. So can we talk about a size here? You can help me here. Anybody can help me. What is the size of a byte? How many bytes?
16 bits.
16 bits. Can we talk about a byte, please? Just a second, guys. Just
So 1 byte.
one
Four
byte.
bytes.
One byte.
4 bits.
Just a Okay, so byte actually says byte, so it is 1 byte. So when we talk about byte, 1 byte is 8 bits. So this is 1 byte. Okay, so it is 1 byte. What about, can you hear me now? Okay, yeah, okay. What is short? 2 bytes.
2
Int?
bytes.
Int?
4 bytes.
4 bytes.
4.
Long?
8.
8 bytes. Float?
4 bytes.
4 bytes. Double?
8
8
bytes.
bytes.
8.
Char?
2 bytes.
2
2
bytes.
bytes.
Very good. Char is 2 bytes and Boolean?
1
1
byte.
bit.
1 byte. 1 byte.
Said it is 1 bit, it is actually unspecified. Okay, so we say it is 1 bit, not even 1 byte. All right, so Boolean is 1 bit. Okay, now the others, you know that it is 1, 2, 4, 8, 4, 8 and 2 and then 1 bit. So this is how you remember it. This is how you remember it. All right, guys. Is everybody okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, so we are doing a very basic thing, that is the data types, and in data types we have just seen the sizes of each one of the data types. Now in numeric data types, these are the numeric data types. Okay, byte, short, int, long, float, double. A data type is said to be superior, one data type is said to be inferior. Okay, higher or lower. All right, out of byte, short, int, long, all of them are integer data types. Long is the highest, int is lower than that, short is lower, and byte is the lowest. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Can you repeat?
Once again, okay, I'll repeat again. Long in these four, in the integer data types, long is the highest, consider the highest, int lower than that, short lower than that, and byte is the lowest. Are we clear? Okay, I'm not talking very much about rocket science here. It's simple talk that we are having here, and I think everybody should be able to understand this. But I would want you to understand this, because there are some situations where you will ultimately come in, and if you don't know about the thing that I'm telling you right now, you will be in trouble. Okay, are we okay with this? Long, int, short, byte, long,
Yes.
largest, and byte the lowest. Okay, out of float and double, which would you consider the larger and which the smaller?
Double.
Double.
Double largest.
Double is the larger.
Double. Float is the lowest out of the floating point. But if I talk about float and long, which is the larger?
Float.
Once
Long.
again. Okay. Okay, it appears the size larger is long, but in precedence, float is taken as a higher data type than long. Am I clear? Okay, so simply put, if you have two data types and one data type is integer and one data type is having decimal point, the decimal point will always be considered as the higher. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It should be very, very clear to you. Now I'm just talking about simple logic. You need to understand, you need to remember. So if you have any data type which is int data type and any data type which is real number, decimal point, the decimal point will be considered as the higher data type always. Although you can see float is having only 4 bytes and long is 8 bytes, still the decimal takes precedence. Okay. Char and Boolean, bichare, they are separate. They don't come into this category at all. Okay, they don't come into this category at all. Okay, we will not talk about this. We'll just talk about some. Okay, suppose I have a number 176. I have a number 176 with a capital L after this. I have a 2.3 with an F after this, and I have a 2.3 like this. Char ka bhi likh lete hain. Char is actually something like this. Boolean is something like this. All right, short and byte we will not talk about. Okay, can you see? I have listed some constants after each of the data types. After each of the data types. Okay. Now, as you see, any integer value which is just an integer value will be considered as an int. Any integer value followed by an L basically for long, capital or small, doesn't matter. But any integer values ending with an L will be considered as a long value. Any decimal fractional value or any value ending with F is considered as a float value. And any value which is fractional, not ending with anything, is considered as a double value. Can you see the logic here, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
now,
sir.
now let me take two values now. We just have 2 minutes to go and we'll finish it now. Okay, so 176 and 176L. Can you tell me what is the difference between the two? Okay, who is okay? Anusha. Anusha, can you answer?
Yes, sir. So
Yes.
176 is an integer data type and 176L is a long data type.
Long data type. Fine, they are int data types and long data type, but what is the difference between that? Is also 176 and this is also 176. What is the difference then of the two? I have just told you and you have just taken it for granted. Fine, 176 is int and 176L is long. For a computer, what is the difference between the two? Can somebody figure out the logic here? Ankita?
So for the computer in the second one, after 176L is written, for the computer it indicates that it is a long data type.
And
176 is just a number, so it will think it is an integer.
okay, so when it thinks it is one is int, one is long, what does it do about it? What does
it will save the value as an integer and a long.
Okay, yes, very true. Can you elaborate a little bit more? A little bit more. One is int, one is long, fine. You are very close to the actual answer.
Sir, because it will see that 176 is just a number, so it will save it as an integer data type.
And
when it will see that after 176L is written, it will save as a long data type.
As a long data type. Okay, fine. Anybody else? Anybody else can get closer to the answer? I want even better answer than this. Yes, the answer that she gave was perfectly fine. Agastya.
Sir, the 176 is an integer data type and it occupies 4 bytes on the memory. And the 176L is a long data type and it occupies 8 bytes on memory.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So that means both are 176 only. The first one is also 176 and the second one is also 176. But in the computer's memory, 176 is going to occupy 4 bytes because the computer considers it as an int value. And 176L will be stored in 8 bytes, although it is a small number again, but it will occupy 8 bytes in computer's memory because the computer understands it to be a long value. Okay, understood? Okay. Yeah, we have done well today. It's 11:33. It's time to wrap up now. Okay, similarly, if I write a 2.3f, or even if I write a 6f, anything ending with an f is actually considered as a float value. Again, it will occupy 4 bytes in the computer's memory. And if I just write a 2.3, naturally it is going to be considered as a double value and will occupy 8 bytes in the computer's memory. Now, I have written, remember, F in small letters and L in capital letters. I have done this on purpose because if I write 176L with L as small letter, that L looks like a 1. Okay? So whenever in a program, if you are actually trying to write a long value, you will actually use a capital L, not a small l, although you can use it. To a computer, it does not matter, but to another programmer or even you may later on think it is 1761 and not 176L. Okay, for float, you can write capital or small f, doesn't matter. I've written a small f because it is very distinctive in character. Okay. All right. Are we fine with whatever we have done? I think we have used only 15-20 minutes. You know why we need extra time. Okay, so today we just talked about data types. Tomorrow we will be discussing many of these things, many of whatever. I'll send whatever I've written here. I'll send it on the WhatsApp group so for you to read, and I would like you to ask questions as we do a topic. Okay, so today we have done values and data types. Tomorrow we will be doing operators, basically input in Java, maybe conditional and iterative constructs and nested for loops. Okay, whatever. So we'll start off with the revision. Whatever questions you have, please send me the questions. Okay, you can send me the question as a personal message, or you can send me the question on the group. Okay, do we have any question right now, guys? No question?
No, sir.
No question. No question actually means two things. Either you have understood everything or you have understood nothing.
Sir,
Okay, so
sir,
yeah.
sir, I wanted to ask, sir, for double value, sir, can't we put 2.3D?
2.3D? We don't need to put 2.3D.
But it can be accepted by the computer. Can it be?
I have never used it.
I
Okay.
tried it.
Did it work?
Yes, sir, it was working.
Okay. Okay. So you don't need it, so we don't use it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow then at 10:45. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye, sir.
Nice.
Bye bye and thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vita.